everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to another episode of Einstein Certification Series. So today I'm going to talk about recipes, right? So in the last episode, I talked about how to import a CSV file and create a data set out of it, right? So today I'm going to walk you through how to create a data set from an existing Salesforce object, and then we're gonna use two data set, one created from a recipe and one created using a CSV file and one created using normal Salesforce data, and we can combine those two in a recipe and create another data set, right? Sounds simple, right? Okay, so the first thing first, you need to register for an org. If you haven't done so, I would highly encourage you to do so. So I've logged into my org. I'm gonna go to this tic-tac-toe icon. The first thing first, go to the studio here. I'm gonna show you how to create a data set. If you do not know, this is the right time for you to learn. So there's an option called create here. Okay, just click on create, click on data set. Okay, so you can see that we have different options here. I will talk about how to connect from an external data, right? Forget about that one. CSV, we talked about it last time. If you haven't watched my last episode, I would highly encourage you to do that. So now we're going to talk about Salesforce data, right? We're going to create a new data, say op data, right? I won't be using this data, but there's already an existing data set there, which is similar to this, because I've created that to save time, right? Because sometimes running the data flow will take some time. So, but I just wanted to demonstrate how to create a one. Okay, create a new data flow. You can say demo 1, whatever name you wanted to give. Give a meaningful name, right? Okay, click on next. You have to, right. That's interesting. I haven't seen that before though. Oh, okay. Right, there's already exist one. Okay. My apologies for that. Let's create again. Salesforce data. Op. Okay, 1, 2. Please give a meaningful name so you don't have an error like this, because this is a great example, right? If you try to use an existing data flow, it will give you an error, right? So that's one of the troubleshooting thing. Okay, so you can see demo. I think this one does not exist. Okay, and you see you get this nice looking interface where you can select an object, and so you can choose an account opportunity here. So I'm going to choose an opportunity. Okay, and now this is a root, right? And now this is a root object, which will be and we will be linking this to other two. That's an account and the contact. Oh, sorry, contact and the user, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna click on this plus icon. This is where the real magic happens, because it gives you an opportunity to choose the field. So you go to amount, close date, delete it, right? Right, whatever you wanted to choose. An account ID. I don't know if there's an account ID. Let's see. So opportunity ID, right? Now, this is great because you have selected an object, right? And you have selected a field. The way you know that you have selected a field, because when you click on it, it will turn green. That's the way Salesforce will let you know, right? That's the way of telling to user, right? Yeah, you have selected the field. Right? Okay, go to relationships. Okay, now you can link with account, join, right? Owner. Great. So you have joined opportunity to an account and using an owner. It's that simple, right? You don't have to write any code. You see, it's pretty straightforward, right? So now you can add fields to it belonging to account. You can add this. You can add account ID. One thing I just wanted to mention, that there is a field called SIC. This is important because I wanted to choose this field because I will be linking this field from this data set to another data set to get the data, right? Because if you have watched my previous episode, you will know that I have imported a file, right, which contained SIC code, a description, right? So I'm not getting a description from this data set. Instead, I'll be getting a description from another data set. Now, how to get a description from other data set is using this SIC code field, which exists in both the data set, right? That will be our key. Okay, so select it, okay, and now user, you can do, you can do name, username, and company name, right? And you can, that's all we need, right? And you can click on next, okay, and see, it will actually give you this looking interface, right? You can create your data flow manually by coming to this. Start with a blank canvas. You can, choose SFDC digest and add the stuff, right? That's a little bit advanced. I will talk about this specific development in the next or probably in the future episode, because you should know that as well, right? It's very important for you to know this one. But for now, just to keep it simple, we have used other interface to arrive to this place, right? Okay, now update the data flow, and you just put whatever description you want, op ACC, right? I'm not going to use this data set because there's already a data set created, which are going to use it. So, but I just wanted to give you an idea how to do that. Now run the data flow, and you can go to data monitor, right? So it will come here and refresh it, it will run it, right? So what I'm going to do, there is already if you go to data here, right? So there's something called opportunity with account and user. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use this SFDC description, which is the data set I've created by importing CSV file, right? These two data set I'm going to use. Opportunity with account and user is pretty much the same data set which I've created just right now, right? I've already created it before, but it's exactly the similar one because it has opportunity, accounts, and a user object, right? Okay. Now, how to do that? Linking these two data set, we're gonna take the help of recipe, right? Sounds nice, right? So now go to data flow and recipe here. Okay. Now create a new go to recipe tab and create a new recipe. Okay. Now this is the screen which you get. Depending upon the time of the year you're watching this episode, it might change. If Salesforce decide to change this interface, it might look a little bit different. Okay, so the option to select data you might find here and there. So click on select data, right? And then see, this is the one I'm going to use, opportunity with accounts. Okay, click on next. Right, now I wanted to join this with another data set, right? That's exactly what I wanted to do. That's exactly the requirement is, right? If you remember, I told you about it. So there's a plus sign here. You have a join option here. Now I want to join with what? I want to join with SIC description. This is the one we got it from CSV file. This data set I've created using CSV, right? So you see you have 3 fields here, right? So that's okay. Now we have to add a join key, right? So I'm gonna add a join key here. Okay, now I'm gonna delete this one. I'll just say SIC. I'm gonna say SIC. And I want to say SIC. So if you remember, I talked about the SIC code in both the data set. That will be the key. And I add it. And I don't want this one here. Okay. And apply it. Okay. And then I wanted to add description as well. And SIC code as well. All right. Excuse me. And that's the way the join works, which is great. Right now, but this is not enough yet, right? If you try to save it, it will give an error. That there is an error there because what you're trying to do is that there is no output here. You join the two data set, right? And now what? It should be something, right? So what are you going to do? Click on the plus sign here, and you can click on output and give the data set name as my new fancy data set, right? Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to do here. And I'm going to apply it. Okay, and as you can see here, as a preview, you see, you get the description, right? You get this description from another data set. Now, how are you getting a description from another data set? Because of this key, SIC code. If you are someone who've used the database, right, like SQL Server, Oracle, or other database, you know the primary key, right? So it's a similar concept, right? Okay. Now save and run. Recipe name. What's the recipe name you want? So my new recipe, right? Has been queued to run. See the monitor tab. So you go to data monitor here. So see it's still running. It's gonna take a while because I need to get the data set, and we're gonna use the data set, the newly created data set, in our new dashboard. So just to show you how the data comes on the picture, into the picture, right? Sorry, the weather been just been hot. You know, as you know, I'm not a big fan of summer. It's just, yeah. It's sunny. It's nice, you know, in on that perspective. But it's just the heat. I just don't like heat. I'm a winter person. You know, keep me in a winter place. You know, I'm happy to say 365 days a year. I mean, New Zealand is not really cold. I mean, it's not really hot country like Australia. Australia is terribly hot. I mean, I would die if I have to live in Australia because I can't live in such countries. It's extremely hot. Right. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So go to data here, right? And then let's see the time created. Okay, hopefully. So see my new fancy data set that's been created. This data set, we're gonna use it now in our dashboard. Right now, I hope everyone knows how to create a dashboard, right? I've talked about it a zillions of times. You should be comfortable now how to create dashboard, right? So go to create, go to dashboard here. We're gonna do a simple test. Create blank dashboard. Okay. Now add a chart component here. Okay. And click here, and the data set should be my new fancy data set. Okay. Now go to bars here. You have SIC description, right? And you have account, this one, and you have account billing city. Oh, sorry, not the billing city. You can put maybe account ID. Right, done. Something similar you can do. See, I mean, I know that this is not a fancy looking dashboard, but just to give you a context, right? How to connect to dataset using a key. That's exactly what I wanted to demonstrate today. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to convey, right? So now this is all good, right? Now you might get a scenario where you have to link it from external, right? Like I wanted to demonstrate in future how to get the data from AWS. You can do that, and you can link this data set using recipes. It's pretty interesting, right? You can do a lot of complex stuff. I would highly encourage you to check it out. Try by yourself. Import CSV file and then connect to an existing database. Existing Salesforce object, and then use relationship to link it to different objects, right? So sometimes your data set can get bigger based on your requirements. It all comes down to business requirement, right? Right, that's all I wanted to talk about today, guys. I hope you have an amazing Monday. Greetings and addies from New Zealand. Take care.